two Jews went to see the fourth Rebbe of Chabad, Rebbe Shmuel. One was a tremendous Talmudic scholar, genius. He wrote a book and he gave it to the Rebbe to look at. And the other one was a very simple Jew. And the Rebbe looked at the book and he gave his approval, I think, also the book. And then he gave him a blessing. He said, my blessing is that when you pray in the morning, you should think about the meaning of the words. Think about the meaning of the words. To the other Jew, and he was very disappointed. This Jew was very disappointed. He thought he would get a big blessing to be a tremendous Talmudic scholar and to succeed and to be a big rabbi and give him a big blessing. So the thing, so he said, Rebbe, that's the only blessing you give to me? So the Rebbe said to him, what do you want me to give you a blessing? Praise the floorboard. Haluka ala kirish, said, praise the floorboard. So the man didn't know exactly what to say, and he backed out, and that was it. The simple man, the simple one that came to see the Rebbe afterwards, so the Rebbe told him that he had to learn Tanakh, the prophets, the books of the Torah, the prophets and the kings, the book of Kings and the book of Judges, the book of Prophets, but he should learn it with the simple Yiddish translation. Simple Yiddish translation. So the one rabbi that he gave this blessing to praises on the floorboard. So he thought about it, what type of a blessing was that? And suddenly he realized that the day before, there used to be a synagogue in Lubavitch that was built by the second Rebbe of Chabad. Second Rebbe of Chabad, he built Lubavitch, and he built a synagogue that was very long. It was very long. It was very big, but it was long. And a couple of days earlier, this tremendous Talmudic scholar, he noticed that there was one board on the floor, that it was one long board from the beginning to the end, a really long board. It wasn't like a bunch of boards, put together. And he thought to himself, I wonder if I can start praying at one end and walk and finish praying at the other end. He thought that to himself. And that's what he did. Somehow or other, the Rebbe must have seen this, that that's what he did. Who knows? I mean, they didn't have video cameras back then. He saw it and he said, when you pray, you should think about the meaning. Think about God, right? Think about God and the meaning of the words when you pray. Learning, you know how to learn Torah. Good, wonderful. I'm giving a blessing. You should pray in a proper way, in a normal way, at least basically. Think of the meaning of the words and stop thinking about the floorboard. That's what the Rebbe says. He realized that he made a big mistake. That's his story. Others thought that was his blessing. The one that the Rebbe told him that he should learn the meaning of the prayers, learn the meaning of the Yiddish translation of the books of the Torah. So a time passed by. It was a cold winter night. This was in Lubavitch, right? It's cold there, in the winter especially. Cold winter night. And he once, I think it was on Shabbat even, he came home from Shabbat. He had a heavy overcoat, and he threw the overcoat into the next room on the sofa, and he sat down to eat with his wife. And the Shabbos meal, the middle of the Shabbos meal, they heard some sort of strange sounds from the other room. Their baby was in the room. The baby was in their other room. They had a small baby, and he was in a crib. And they heard the sounds of the sound, and they saw that the crib was empty. And the wife realized, the baby, he didn't want to sleep. And I sat with him on the couch over here, and I tell he went to sleep, and I left him on the couch to go to sleep. And you threw your heavy coat over the child, and it suffocated the child. So this man he remembered what it says. It's in the book of Kings, Elisha, that there was a baby, there was a child, the Shunammite, and he gave her a blessing that she should have a child, and she had a child, and the child died. So it said that he went to the place where the child was, and he laid himself. The child was already dead for like a couple of days, and he put himself on his hands on the child's hands, and his mouth to his mouth, and the child came back alive. So this man understood that he did artificial resuscitation, which that is not what he did. I mean, it wasn't artificial. It was a miracle. The child had artificial resuscitation works if a person is like stopped breathing for a couple minutes or something like that. Or this child had he'd been dead for a day, who knows how long, with Elisha. But this simple man, he didn't understand that. He read it in the Yiddish that's what Elisha did. So that's what he did to his child. And he put his hands on his hands and his mouth on his mouth, and he breathed into him, and he gave him artificial resuscitation. And the child came back to life. Come back to life. And because he had read this and misunderstood what Elijah the prophet did a miracle, right? It was a miracle. Somehow or other he breathed life into the child, but he misunderstood that. And because of that, he did artificial resuscitation. The Rebbe must have seen into the future what was going to be, and he gave them in this advice that saved the child's life. Have a good day with Mashiach. And I'll see you all tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Thank you for